A bummer of a trip for the Fish. 2 games and 2 runs in D.C. 3 games, 3 blown leads in New York. It was agony. But tonight the Marlins are back home at Marlins Park. Snakes alive. The Diamondbacks are here. It's a 4-gamer that starts tonight on Fox Sports Florida.
Marlins Park tonight. The Fish are happy to be back home. Marlins have dropped 5 in a row. The Diamondbacks have lost 7 of their last 9. These are 2 teams that are trying to get back up on their feet. A 4-game series, and it's University of Miami weekend, which is kicked off by Carlos Zambrano and Joe Saunders. As these 2 guys go at it, big weekend for Gabby Sanchez. A lot of stars in the building for this one. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. When the Marlins left this building and headed out on the road, they had just won 5 of 6 on a homestand. They were over 500. What happened on the road trip?
I'll tell you what, Rich, things were looking pretty good. And what happened is that the offense all of a sudden, for some reason, just shut down. The starting pitching continued, but the bullpen struggled. It was one of those phenomenons that happens in this game. Hopefully things will turn around now that the club's back home. And
the bats certainly were quiet on the road trip. But you're right, the disparity between starters and relievers on the trip, alarming.
It's impossible to have 5 starts the way the Marlins did from Zambrano, Sanchez, Nolasco, Burley, Josh Johnson, have an ERA of 182. I thought it was impossible to do that and go 0-5, but they did, mainly because the bullpen struggled and the offense struggled. The bullpen walked 9 batters just in the New York Mets series alone.
Turning the page, headed towards Arizona. Diamondbacks, the defending National League West champs, and a lefty that was solid in their rotation last year and is off to a terrific start is on the mound. Joe Saunders going for the Diamondbacks, and of course Carlos Zambrano was outstanding in his last start.
During the game, Rich, we'll get into it a little bit, but a couple of guys who really have something to prove in this season. Saunders has given up 2 earned runs or less in his 3 starts, and Zambrano was just outstanding his last outing in Washington.
So there you have it. That's the pitching matchup, the matchup between the Diamondbacks and the Marlins. For more, Craig Minervini, Preston Wilson on the field.
Yes, the super spiffy Preston Wilson. Looking good. Hey, Preston, let's talk a little bit about the Marlins. Even with this rough start and rough offense, you certainly would have hoped to have 3 more wins just by the closing of Heath Bell, who's off to that very shaky start. Again, another problem yesterday. The Marlins had a 1-run lead in the 9th, but Heath couldn't hold it, and he was wild.
Well, unfortunately, when you're not scoring runs, that gets magnified. If the score was 3-1 right there, that 1 run, that doesn't really matter. So the fact that we're not scoring runs, we're not getting the hits, everything that happens in the back end of the game really gets magnified.
Wound up throwing 46 pitches, and look at this. These are games when he blew his 3rd save. Historically, took to the 127th game back in 09. Unfortunately, this year, off to that tough start with a new team. 18 games into blowing that 3rd save. We asked Ozzie Guillen today about Bell's status for the game.
Tonight, he got a pitch lefty. he throw more pitches than Nolasco. Keith Bell, I think hopefully we can pitch him tomorrow. Hopefully. But 50 pitches for Zambrano, Nolasco, Burley, that's nothing.
Right.
For a closer, that's 3 games. Maybe more.
Well, we'll see. I think Bell's got the good makeup mentally. The only thing is he hasn't proven himself here yet, and he keeps talking about that.
Well, I think he'll get it together.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who does have the ability to brush off the tough times, but he has the perfect personality for a closer. So I look for him to get better, and I look for him to start closing out some games for us.
Good point. Preston will join us with Jeff Conine on the post game. Up next, let's get ready for game 1 of this 4-game weekend wraparound series. It's the Snakes and the Marlins coming up next on Fox Sports Florida.
Windows closed. Game on. Marlins Diamondbacks next. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on an amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. In Miami tonight, the Marlins and the Diamondbacks. This is the extent of the Marlins homestand. It's a 4-game series which starts tonight, ends on Monday afternoon. Here come the Diamondbacks, the defending National League West champion Arizona Diamondbacks. Willie Bloomquist, the versatile one, is at shortstop, while Stephen Drew still trying to come back from that ankle injury. Gold Glover Gerardo Parra is in center field, while Chris Young tries to recover from a shoulder injury. Justin Upton, the budding superstar, in right field. Jason Kubel, the former Minnesota Twin. Please welcome Miguel Montero to the show, the catcher of the Diamondbacks. He had an outstanding year last year. Aaron Hill, the former Blue Jay. Lyle Overbay at first, and Ryan Roberts. And this would be Carlos Zambrano.
Well, we've talked a lot about Z's last outing, and it was a terrific one in D.C. 2-0 loss, unfortunately, as happened too often on the road trip. No support, but 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits. The big culprit against Zambrano in that game was Rick Ankiel. Had 3 hits in the game, but a home run off Zambrano. So trying to go after the Diamondbacks, a ball club that he's faced before in his career, 3-2 in his career against Arizona. There's the defense, Lomo and Bonifacio and Giancarlo in that outfield. Hanley Ramirez, Donnie Murphy with the start at shortstop. Jose Reyes getting the night off, and Fonte and Gabby on the right side, and John Buck back in there behind the plate.
Zambrano getting ready for a Diamondback team that, much like the Marlins, having some trouble scoring runs, but with some big bats in there, especially the bat of Justin Upton. Carlos is ready. As you pointed out, he was splendid on the road against Washington. Pinch a penny brings you our first pitch tonight. And here we go. That would be strike one. Mike DeMuro is calling balls and strikes. This is Willie Bloomquist, the veteran, in his 13th big year season. He's a 34-year-old, and he takes outside. Bloomquist last year was an important part of the Diamondbacks' push to the division title. When Drew went down at short, Bloomquist, a utility guy who could play anywhere and play well anywhere, was the shortstop down the stretch. Bonifacio in deep right center runs it down and makes the catch.
Yeah, guys adjusting to being back home and learning this ballpark. Good read by Bonifacio on that fly ball.
Ozzie Guillen talking not only to local media but also to Arizona media about the ballpark. And Ozzie said everybody has a pretty good idea of what the ballpark plays with the roof closed and the windows closed. However, most would agree the Marlins and Major League Baseball is still trying to figure out what the weather will be like, what the wind will be like, how the ball carries with roof open, windows closed, roof open, windows open. Zambrano misses away. 2-0. A night off for Jose Reyes tonight.
Yeah, he was busy, certainly in New York. All the attention returning back to Citi Field. And Ozzie, first one to say, Jose said the same thing. It's not an excuse, but he just wanted to give him the night off tonight after all the hoopla in New York.
Wouldn't be surprised if Hanley Ramirez gets a day off in this series, be it a Sunday or a Monday. The bunt, John Buck got a piece of the ball as it bounced back. Parra with the count even at 2-2.
A couple of teams, Rich, in this series. That's why it'll be interesting to see how the offense performs. And Kirk Gibson's ball club hitting just .234, and the Marlins hitting .232 as a team.
That's the manager of the year in the National League last year. Kirk Gibson taking a team from worst to first. They won 94 games last year and surprised everyone. And Zambrano with a great touch. Venezuelan native strikes out another Venezuelan with a strikeout. Parra goes down. There are 2 outs in the first.
When he gets ahead, this is that pitch, that good off speed, the split that dives downward. That's a pitch that he can use successfully. The problem he was having early on, the first couple of starts, he walked so many, he was getting behind, he wasn't able to use that as much.
Justin Upton now. The Diamondbacks got off to a terrific start thanks to a red-hot start from Chris Young. Ouch. Zambrano hits Upton. Looks like left elbow. Upton does not have a pad on and is in some pain on his way down to first base.
This fastball, the target middle, a little bit away. That fastball just gets away from Zambrano. And we'll have to see if Upton, who is wearing a sleeve but no pad, if he maybe next at bat see him with a pad. Some guys just don't like wearing it, though. Some guys don't have a good feel and don't like swinging when they have that pad on.
Gibson out just to check if there's a man in a Diamondback uniform who knows a little thing or two about getting hit. Don Baylor in his day was the magnet and such a strong and sturdy guy that kind of leaned out over the plate and would not budge. Jason Kubel now with Upton at first, and Zambrano delivers and misses. Kubel, an addition to the Diamondbacks, and a guy, Tommy, is a kind of an under the radar guy playing for the Minnesota Twins, having solid year after solid year. Last year had a sprained foot and his season cut short, just 99 games, hit a dozen home runs.
You know, he's been one of those guys that's always had an offensive oriented reputation, but he had a 3-year stretch from 08 through 2010. He averaged 23 home runs and 91 RBIs.
Kubel takes down low, and as I said, Chris Young was the guy that really ignited the Diamondbacks to a solid start. Young was hitting .410 with 4 doubles, 5 homers, 13 RBIs in the first 11 games. And then on the disabled list, a right shoulder contusion. He Made a terrific catch and collided with a wall. And he's been on the disabled list since.
They're banged up, and they pretty much admit that. You and I talked with a lot of different personnel. Had a chance to talk with Kevin Towers, their general manager, and that's said, hey, that's part of the deal. Learn how to deal with it when you get banged up.
Two one coming. Zambrano with the count even now at 2-2.
Got to keep your eye on Justin Upton at first base. Had 21 stolen bases last year. He was hit 19 times last year, Rich. But no stranger to that either.
He's got a ways to catch Baylor, who was second modern day to Craig Biggio. 2-2 coming. Broken bat, little looper. Murphy goes out. Morrison comes in. Lomo picks it up. And a good pitch by Zambrano, but a base hit by Kubel. And that'll bring up the catcher, Miguel Montero. Diamondbacks just dropped 2 of 3 to Philadelphia. They've had 4 rough series. Dropped 2 of 3 to Philadelphia, 3 of 4 to Atlanta, 2 of 3 to Pittsburgh, and 2 of 3 on the road to Colorado.
So what you're saying, you have a couple of teams here in this series that have struggled offensively and that have had some tough series.
And I think you have 2 teams who have surprises atop their respective divisions. When the Marlins look up at the top of the East, they see the Nationals at 14-5. The Diamondbacks look at the top of the West. They're the Dodgers. Montero with a swing and a miss. Montero, a very solid catcher. An all-star last year. He was 3rd in the Gold Glove voting for catchers.
Very instrumental to their postseason run.
36 doubles last year. He drove in 86. Into center field, that's a base hit. Upton around third on his way home. Bonifacio's throw is to third. Hanley pivots. They got Kubel in a rundown, and Hanley will tag him out. Nice throw by Bonifacio to get the out, but the Diamondbacks get a run and take the lead. Justin Upton scores on a Miguel Montero single. It's 1-0. Montero, a solid single to center. Justin Upton scoring. Marlins coming to the plate this way. Night off for Jose Reyes, so Emilio Bonifacio in the leadoff spot, and Donnie Murphy hits second. Hanley Ramirez followed by Logan Morrison. Omar Infante, nice to have him back in the lineup. Giancarlo Stanton still searching for that first home run of the season. Gabby Sanchez at first. John Buck in the 8th spot, and Zambrano hits 9th.
Joe Saunders, a real well-kept secret, I think. He's had a nice career, 70 and 53 in his career, off to a good start this year. All 3 starts, he's gone 7 innings. He's given up 2 earned runs or less. He's got a fastball that'll stay 91, 92. He'll drop a few slow curveballs in there. He kind of eliminated his slider, and he'll use a changeup.
And Bonifacio takes outside. Emilio with Donnie Murphy and Hanley Ramirez to follow. Saunders floats that one away. Saunders, boy, in his 3 starts, Tommy, 7 innings in each start. What more could a manager ask for from his starter? An ERA, a slender 1.29 going into his 4th start of the season. 2-0 is right down the middle.
By the way, Bonifacio started that rundown play with a nice throw on that base hit, and the rundown play completed nicely too. Didn't take too many throws.
Another look at the play. Upton runs well, so you knew he was going to score.
Good choice by Bonifacio to go to third, and a good reaction by Hanley to pick up Kubel. His throw to Murphy closes the gap, and Hanley puts the tag on. That's nice execution there.
Saunders gets a strikeout, and Bonifacio goes down. And the Diamondbacks defensively.
Check it out defensively. Jason Kubel, Gerardo Parra, Justin Upton, Roberts, Bloomquist, Aaron Hill, and Overbay. Overbay, a veteran over there at first base. Miguel Montero with that RBI single last inning. Yeah, Joe Saunders was an all-star in 08 with the Angels. He won 17 games that year.
And you're right, Tommy. He finished with his arbitration years and was a free agent in the offseason. And not a lot of bidders, not a lot of phone calls. Re-signed for the Diamondbacks for $6 million. Donnie Murphy takes up. Murphy getting the start at shortstop and in the 2 spot.
First start this year at short. Murph started 4 games at second base.
Smokes that one. A terrific play by Roberts, who throws him out. Boy, Roberts diving to his left, robbing Murphy of a base hit.
Yeah, the tap man is at it. There's a great dive and a pick. That ball came up on him. Stays with it, gets a little help over the other end from Overbay, who's a nice first baseman. And Donnie Murphy was robbed.
Ryan Roberts with a play at third, and here comes Hanley Ramirez.
Boy, Hanley trying to put that road trip behind him quickly as well.
An 0 for 18 trip and an 0 for 20 slide. Second longest 0 for in his career.
Albert Pujols just broke an 0 for 17 that he was on. Pujols still looking for his first home run.
Hanley had no problems hitting home runs his last homestand. He had a stretch of 3 games in which he hit homers in each game.
No, the bottom line, he just realizes he had gotten his swing a little too long, and he has to shorten it up.
Popped up. Roberts makes the catch. And Joe Saunders goes 1-2-3 in the first.
Coventry Healthcare, second inning, 1-0. Diamondbacks on top. Carlos Zambrano got the first 2 outs of the first, but then he hit Justin Upton, and that cost him. As Aaron Hill stands in, he takes down low. Aaron Hill acquired late last year, and he was a nice addition. He played in just 33 games with the Diamondbacks, but he drove in 16 runs, had a dozen doubles, hit .313, had a .386 on base percentage, and that was coming off a subpar season in Toronto. He struggled as a Blue Jay last year.
He had some solid years in Toronto. Then he suffered a concussion and missed quite a bit of time in 08.
09, he was an all-star with the Blue Jays. In fact, that 09 season, he slugged 36 home runs. And his name, at the time, Dan Uggla was putting up record-setting historical numbers for home runs as a second baseman. Hill's name was trailing Uggla on those lists. Long run for Morrison, and he's not going to get there. He'll pick it up. And a base hit for Aaron Hill. Tomorrow night is a Saturday spectacular with the Marlins and the Diamondbacks at 7:10. It all starts on the West Plaza at 5 o'clock with music, entertainment, and autograph sessions. Stay in your seats after the game. Fireworks spectacular. Tommy Hutton will be watching. In fact, Tommy will be shot out of a cannon over the roof here at Marlins Park. 1-877-MARLINS, and go to marlins.com. Here's Lyle Overbay, and Zambrano misses high with a fastball.
Zambrano has to realize this. 2 of the base hits. One, the broken bat single of Kubel's, and the little bloop base hit by Aaron Hill. So not squaring up a lot of balls. He's still making good pitches.
Zambrano with a breaking ball for a strike. Carlos certainly tamed his control demons his last time out. He didn't walk anyone. He struck out 6, but he had walked 8 in his first 2 starts. In fact, he walked 6 in one of those starts. Misses with that slider, and it's 2-1.
Diamondbacks have a few guys that'll run. They have 16 steals as a team. Parra's their leader.
Overbay, a guy that was also acquired late last year. And he swings and misses. Counts even at 2-2. He was acquired from Pittsburgh. He played in just 18 games, but he drove in 10 runs, and it was odd for him because while Arizona was clawing and scratching to win the National League West, they were honoring the 2001 World Championship team at the same time, and Overbay was actually on that team. He didn't play a lot, just had a few at bats, but he was on the roster, and he was a Diamondback for a brief time in 2001.
So now he returns. Always been a solid hitter, line drive hitter with some power, and a very good first baseman defensively. And talking about this club, they're going to be aggressive. You know that with Kirk Gibson as their manager.
Zambrano's run the count full at 3-2. Well, the calling card for the Diamondbacks last year, come from behind wins. Nobody in baseball had more of them. See Zambrano all over the map.
And I would expect Gibson's going to have Hill on the move on this 3-2 pitch.
Overbay steps out. Hill has a couple of stolen bases this year. Runner goes, no swing, ball 4. It is University of Miami weekend, and we start it tonight by miking up Gabby Sanchez, our first installment.
You got that camera? Get that camera on again. I'll do it for all fans. They can.
I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. Where is it? Where's the camera?
Well, I want Seminole night.
There ain't no Seminole night.
I want Seminole night.
Boo Seminoles. Everybody
No,
hates the Seminoles.
Boo yourself. I don't hate.
Everybody
It's a strong
does.
word. I don't even hate the U. I just
Yes, you do.
I strongly dislike them.
You just said.
Hate's a very strong word.
A Seminole and a Hurricane during batting practice.
They do get along.
Now Ryan Roberts in the 8th spot with Joe Saunders hitting 9th. Zambrano, if he can make his pitches, has a spot where he can help himself out of this inning. You've got a slumping Roberts, then you got the pitcher coming up.
Yeah, this is an opportunity that you hear pitchers, managers will talk about in the National League that you have. In the American League, you don't have this opportunity. Ozzie knows that. He knows that in the American League, you get 3 hitters down there. You don't have to worry about that pitcher. So you don't want to, if you're Zambrano, you don't want to let this inning get away.
Ball and a strike. A lot of people asked Ozzie Guillen about moving from the American League to the National League and changing his styles. Of course, he was a Marlin third base coach for a couple of seasons. Remember, he played in the National League. He played 2 seasons under Bobby Cox in Atlanta at the tail end of his career. Zambrano's all over the place right now. The ball's sailing on him. You saw that Fox tracks on the last at bat to Overbay, and it was a scatter shot everywhere. And look at that.
Yeah, that one missed badly. And the pitches he's missed with been that fastball. That's how he hit Upton last inning.
Warren Henry much more accurate than that with the Fox tracks. Well, thanks to them. First and second, nobody out. Zambrano already 31 pitches in to this, his 4th start of the season. And Roberts waiting him out with the count out 3-1. Buck trots out.
Now it's a catcher's job just to try to calm him down, try to get him in that rhythm that he was in his last outing. Hanley's going to come over. And a pitching coach paces.
So it's 3-1, and you've got the pitcher on deck. Roberts is homered. He's driven in 7. Gets a strike. It's 3-2.
See, if you're a hitter, you're not real sure because of Zambrano's wildness. You're not sure, is he going to go with the fastball or the breaking ball? Because he's kind of been equally wild with both.
3-2 coming. Missed. They're loaded. A single and 2 walks. And you could tell the displeasure written all over Ozzie Guillen's face. Here's a manager that on a 5-game road trip saw all 5 of his starters, including Zambrano to start the road trip, pitch brilliantly. They came in with an ERA of under 2 on the trip, and yet the Marlins went 0-5.
1.82 the ERA of the starters. Ricky, JJ, Burley, Anibal Sanchez. Well, you have an opportunity here. The infield certainly get a look for 2, but you have the pitcher up there. Saunders a 149 lifetime hitter. doesn't run well. So you have a chance to get a double play.
A double play or a strikeout.
But you have to throw strikes.
Saunders out of Virginia Tech. Now he's out in front of him 0-2. If he gets a strikeout here, then he can go after Bloomquist with a shot at getting out of the inning on a ground ball. This climate, this atmosphere, very familiar to the Diamondbacks, who play in a retractable roof ballpark that is normally shut with air conditioning in downtown Phoenix. 0-2, pulled foul.
First base coach Eric Young.
Maybe the most decorated coaching staff in baseball history.
Oh, you got that right.
Young, an all-star. Across the diamond, you've got Matt Williams, who had a terrific career on the rail. Alan Trammell, Don Baylor, Coach Kirk Gibson, the manager. 0-2. Fly ball right. Stanton backs up. Everybody tags. Giancarlo makes the catch. The throw is cut, and the Diamondbacks have cobbled together 2 runs on just 3 hits. And just 1 hit this inning. Saunders delivers a sacrifice fly. That's a bonus on a 2-strike count for a pitcher that doesn't hit that well.
Yeah, it is. The throw by Giancarlo I liked. It was a little offline, but he kept it down. By keeping it down, nobody else advanced. So you still keep that double play in order, and it had no chance to get the runner at the plate. So keep the runners where they are and keep that double play alive.
Now Bloomquist. He lines it into right field. Base hit. Late start at second, as Overbay had to make sure that line drive wasn't caught by an infielder. And so the Diamondbacks have them loaded now for Parra.
Well, this time they have him loaded for a real hitter and not the pitcher.
Parra struck out back in the first. Only strikeout for Zambrano. He's walked 2 in the inning. He hit a batter. That was Upton back in the first. And Parra lets it fly and fouls it back. 4th year with the Diamondbacks. Parra, a very, very good outfielder. He won a Gold Glove. Last year, the first year that the Rawlings Gold Gloves were awarded in the outfield by left field, center field, right field.
I like that, too. And with Chris Young on the disabled list, Parra, who's such a terrific outfielder, moves over to center field.
That's how they've always given out the Fielding Bible Awards.
Yeah, a lot of times before they had that rule, a lot of times the 3 Gold Glove outfield winners were all center fielders.
In fact, ironically, now Parra certainly deserved the Gold Glove last year, and he's so good as in left and such a good outfielder that with Young out, he moves to center. Young was second in the Gold Glove voting for center fielders, so it's quite possible that if they had the old rules, Young would have won a Gold Glove and Parra might not have won his.
Center fielder's going to have a few more opportunities, a few more chances.
A lot more time on the highlights. Bases filled with Diamondbacks. Overbay. Easy to spot Roberts and Bloomquist. Zambrano trying to get Gerardo Parra, who pulls it down the first baseline foul.
Now there's one guy, and I'm sure in Ozzy's mind this guy's name's flying around. That's Chad Gaudin. We haven't seen Chad Gaudin since that 3-inning outing he had against Houston back on the 15th. So he didn't pitch at all on the road trip. And the last time he did pitch, he went 3 shutout innings.
And they were big shutout innings. And that extra inning win. And that's the result of the 5 starters all going deep and all having success on that trip. And a swing and a miss. Zambrano gets a rather large strikeout if he's going to extract himself without any more damage in this inning.
There's Godin. You know, you get to a point where you're down in that bullpen. You look at how the game's unfolding. The fact that Zambrano's thrown 43 pitches. He knows he's standing there, you know, thinking about getting loose. So he'll be ready when the phone rings. Unless Zambrano gets out of this inning here.
Well, here's Upton, and the first pitch he saw hit him in the left elbow. And he's not a guy you want to make mad because he can hit it a long ways.
A couple of those early outings, the first 2 of Zambrano, he did have early struggles and then settled down. Most of his walks came early.
Upton had just an enormous year last year. He was 4th in the MVP vote. (2-0). And it was a tweak that his hitting coach Don Baylor made with him in May that set him on fire. Those are the career numbers. Add a sore elbow to that line. 2-0. Center, Bonifacio, and he makes the catch. So all the base runners, just a run in that inning, but a 2-0 start for Arizona. In the bottom of the second. This season, Fox Sports is proud to support potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. And if you weren't with us for Marlins Live, you missed David Sampson, Marlins team president, finishing his 52-mile run here at Marlins Park.
And for numerous charities, of which so much of that is going to go to the young kids of this area.
I didn't get a final tally, but I think they were over $600,000 to be raised. This was David's day. He started like at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, he started in Pompano.
And there was a member of each of the charities that will receive the donations that ran with him, a representative, Jeff Conine, coming in. And man, that's 52 miles.
I mean, I can't even comprehend that. So hats off to David Sampson and for all the money that was raised. Too.
Absolutely. David did the hard work in terms of running the 52 miles, but also the people that donated the money on his behalf. And Logan Morrison takes a fastball for a strike, and it counts 3-1. Well, the Diamondbacks have given Joe Saunders some support here. A couple of runs to work with. Lomo, Omar Infante, Giancarlo Stanton. Morrison drives that ball left center field, hits it deep. Parra goes back, now takes a right turn and makes the catch. Boy, Parra had the looks like that ball was going to be either off the wall or out of his reach, and then suddenly veered right and made the catch.
Because as spacious as the ballpark is in Arizona, there's the look. But that's also experience in knowing that that ball's up there. It has a lot of hang time, that he's going to have an opportunity to pick it up. And Parra did just that. But the ball carries a lot better in the ballpark in Arizona.
Here is Infante. Omar Infante missed about a week with that tightness in his groin. Came back, homered at Citi Field. Now has 5 homers, 5 doubles. And has been the Marlins' most consistent hitter this year. Roberts throws it across. And Joe Saunders has retired all 5 that he's faced.
Yeah, the Vince balls hit pretty well, but so far he's doing the job with a 2-0 lead. Let's check the scouting report brought to you by Coventry Healthcare. Fastball sinks and runs. He will vary the curve. Maybe 5-6 times a game, he'll throw a big, slow curveball and uses the changeup. Not afraid to use the changeup.
Giancarlo Stanton. He goes after the first pitch and pops it first base line. Overbay and Hill. Overbay makes the catch. Joe Saunders makes quick work of the fish in the second. University of Miami weekend, and we have Gabby Sanchez mic'd up tonight. Carlos Zambrano. The Diamondbacks have a run in each of the first 2 innings. Here in the third, Jason Kubel, Miguel Montero, and Aaron Hill.
Zambrano at 47 pitches. In his 7 innings in Washington, D.C., he threw 80. So this is the inning he really needs to get back in a little bit of a groove so he can extend himself a little.
And were the game different in that had Rick Ankiel not homered, the Marlins not be looking for a run. He may have been able to finish and go 8 or 9. Zambrano misses down low. Speaking of DC, their young 19-year-old phenom will be arriving soon. Bryce Harper called up today. That one into center field. And a base hit for Jason Kubel. Kubel, who had extended his hit streak to 10 games with the bloop single in the first, straightens that one out. And so he is 2 for 2. Ryan Zimmerman placed on the disabled list. Remember the shoulder that kept Zimmerman out of a game against the Fish over the weekend. Well, that's put him on the disabled list. And Harper is up. He'll make his debut tomorrow, it sounds like.
You know, he wasn't really tearing it up at AAA, hitting 250, had a home run. But I remember in Washington, D.C., talking to Mike Rizzo, the general manager, and he said, hey, Bryce Harper is the least of our worries.
Very good Sports Illustrated article, either online or at your newsstands, mapping out the Nationals blueprint and all the draft picks from Storen, Strasburg to Jordan Zimmerman, Ryan Zimmerman.
They've done a good job with the Zimmermans.
Yes, they have. They lead the league in Zimmermans. And they lead the league in starters ERA right now. I think it's under 2. 0-2 pitch. Hanley, nice backhand. Infante, quick turn. That's a double play.
Boy, that's a nice one, too.
5-4-3.
It starts with Hanley's backhand pick and then a perfect throw to Infante, who has that quick release. Watch Infante on the bag, release, skip over the runner, and a perfect throw. That's a nice 5-4-3 double play. And the thing I liked about that, and I think in some ways it's affected Giancarlo a little bit. The offense has affected his defense a little. The poor road trip of Hanley hasn't affected his defense. He's played very solid at third base.
The Nationals are barreling up Zambrano. That was a much needed double play. Aaron Hill with another base hit. 5 hits already for the Diamondbacks. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority. The Miami Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. 6 base hits, to be more exact. And Aaron Hill has a couple of hits. Jason Kubel with a couple of hits. Overbay walked his first time up. At this pace, there will be a Chad Godin sighting soon, because Zambrano's at 55 pitches, 2 outs into the third.
Yeah, the biggest difference, you can see it if you compare it with his outing against Washington. The command isn't there. He's walked a couple, he's hit a batter, and because the command's not there, he's not able to get in a position to put a hitter away, as he did with Parra back in the first inning. We talked about that. Through the good splitter to strike him out.
Up the middle, that's into center field. Bonifacio picks it up. Hill will stop at second. The Diamondbacks have 7 hits, all of them singles.
And they're a club, ironically enough, that pitch was up, that lives by the home run.
Fox 12 brought to you by Toyota.
In any mo, that ball's out of the reach of Donnie Murphy.
Roberts now.
Hey, Johnny, hear me?
Breaking ball for a strike.
Sorry? My mic's on the air? How would I know that? I didn't hear it in my ear.
Oh and 1. Couple outs, a couple runners. And Zambrano came off the mound, thought he had a strike. It's 1 and 1.
Well, consequently, he's not going to get anything close because he's not been around the plate. And that was just off the plate. If a guy's been consistent in the strike zone, he might get that pitch.
Way outside. And it's 2 and 1. You know it's been a rough start when in the third inning the number 8 hitter is up for the second time.
And you're John Buck and you haven't been up for the first time.
But it's only 2-0. And Zambrano missing badly there. It's 3 and 1.
You know, the problem is with the score only being 2-0 to this point, that might not sound all that bad except for the way the Marlins offense has been.
Amen. And that may be running through the mind of that man right now. Zambrano trying to get through this inning. 3 base hits. Remember, he got a double play ball from Montero for the first 2 outs, and then 2 more singles from Hill and Overbay. Roberts turns on a ball, and the count's 3 and 2.
Keep in mind, Zambrano came into this game with a ERA of 2.84 in his previous 3 starts, too.
Runners on the move. Roberts out to center. Bonifacio lines it up and makes the catch. Diamondbacks lead 2 more. It's still 2-0. Generate is out at the Clevelander. 2-0. Diamondbacks on top. It's the bottom of the third. And we check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Thank you very much, Rich. Terrific evening here for David Sampson, as you mentioned earlier, raising all that money, over $550,000 near $600,000 for area charities. And moments ago on the promenade level, they just put this plaque and displayed it to everyone with the ribbon cutting ceremony. honoring every person who was involved in building Marlins Park. And I think I read somewhere that's over 5,000 names there. This plaque will be visible on the promenade level when you come here to Marlins Park. And by the way, it's a Marlins Miami Canes weekend because we can't accommodate that big Canes group in one night anymore. So they're going to spread it out tonight, tomorrow night, more festivities as well on Sunday. I guess that's progress.
Hey, and on cue, Craig, you have a Miami Hurricane, Gabby Sanchez lining into right field for a base hit.
And on cue, Craig said that's progress. Well, you know what? That's progress. Seeing Gabby stay back, drive a ball sharply the other way.
Hey, Craig, you were down there when David Sampson arrived after his 52-plus mile run, which started early this morning. What type of physical shape was he in? I know Jeff Conine was there merely for moral support, since Niner only ran 5 miles.
I think we were all concerned because after going 52 miles from 7 in the morning with just some slight intervals in between, we even asked him off there, "You sure you want to do this?" And David really did. He wanted to say a few words, but we let him go. See if we could beat that one out. Nope. Fielder's choice. Buck will get over to first base, but Jeff Conine actually came in and talked with him off air, and here he is coming in. Again, 52.4 miles, as Niner mentioned. That's 2 marathons. 2. And he was totally exhausted. I believe that's Hannah. I thought I saw Hannah Sampson, who was supposed to run in with, and there's Niner behind him. Niner only did the last 5 miles, but as you might expect, totally exhausted. And I think Niner told us he did get some IVs late in the run, but I wouldn't be surprised if he needed some more after the run. He was totally spent.
Oh, no kidding. And about 2 or 3 days worth of massage just to get the knots and the cramps out.
Like I said before, I don't think any of us can imagine what that's like.
Carlos Zambrano is up. John Buck is at first. The Marlins have their first hit off of Joe Saunders. Look at Zambrano's career numbers against the Diamondbacks. Pretty healthy. Pulls it back, and that's going to be a double play. And just like that, Joe Saunders flies through the third. That's a 6-pitch inning. 2-0 Arizona.
Miami Marlins Baseball en español es presentado en SAP por Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
In Miami tonight, 2-0 Diamondbacks on top of the Marlins. In the fourth, Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton, Craig Minervini, Preston Wilson here as well. The Clevelander at Marlins Park, in case you didn't know, is home to the exciting entertainment of the original South Beach location. Experience the game from field level seats with a poolside bar and grill right next to the Marlins bullpen. The Clevelander is also available for private events. If you want to book your group, call 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. You can also buy individual tickets as well.
This is pretty amazing with Zambrano and Saunders. Joe Saunders has thrown 25 pitches in his 3 innings. Zambrano's thrown 63. The last 2 innings for Saunders, he threw 8 and 6.
And it's Saunders who leads off. And remember, Zambrano was hustling down the first baseline after a lengthy stint on the mound for the top of the 3rd.
And really, in a play that you would expect, you'd hope to see him find a hole with the ground ball. He hit the ball sharply as he pulled the bat back, unfortunately right at the shortstop.
2 balls, 2 strikes. As the Marlins left New York yesterday, the news coming out of the Mets clubhouse was that Mike Pelfrey would be undergoing Tommy John surgery. Big hop for Infante to first. And that a blow to the Mets. As the Marlins saw up close and personal, the Mets are playing well right now.
Yeah, Pelfrey was actually off to a pretty good start, too, in their rotation.
Willie Bloomquist, top of the order, 3rd time up already for Bloomquist, who was flied out and singled. And he drops down a gorgeous bunt. But it trickles just foul. Wow. You learn something about not only the distances of a ballpark and how a ball flies, but also how a ball rolls.
Yeah, you almost thought that ball was going to stay fair. And just the spin, once it hit the dirt, you knew it was going to go foul, and Zambrano was right there. You're always taught as a hitter when you're bunting for a base hit, especially up the line, different if it's a push bunt or a drag bunt for a lefty. Either make it perfect or foul. If you're going to miss, don't miss in fair territory.
Bloomquist, who spent the early part of his career in the American League, 7 years in Seattle, 2 years in Kansas City. Bounces it to Hanley, who straightens up and throws him out. AT&T brings you trivia. It's a pointed round, is the 4th inning. A lot of fodder for trivia with Kirk Gibson. Michigan State jersey number was retired this year. What number? Which sport?
Well, first of all, we have to eliminate our esteemed director, Jim Howell, because he knows that.
Well, Gibby was a terrific wide receiver. So was it his football jersey or was it his baseball jersey? Crackstaff says baseball. Zambrano missing. It's 2-0. I don't have Gibson's college numbers around, but I suspect he was probably a more decorated football player than he was a baseball player.
Yeah, I think he was. He's also one of 4 managers in the major leagues to have won Manager of the Year and an MVP award as a player. Don Baylor on the bench with him, one of those, Frank Robinson and Joe Torre. That's pretty good company.
Gibson, one of those guys, as you look at Baylor, and even Baylor to an extent, but maybe more so with Gibson. Had he been healthier during his career, his credentials such that might have put him in Cooperstown, because he had hamstring issues.
He played hard.
He played so hard.
He played hard. And it took its toll.
But he hit 2 of the more dramatic home runs, of his era in World Series history. Everybody remembers the shot against Dennis Eckersley as a Dodger, his only at bat in that 1988 World Series. But remember the Game 5 home run he hit against Goose Gossage as a Tiger at Tiger Stadium. Wasn't it Dick Williams that went out and conferred with Gossage about would they pitch around, would they walk Gibson? They
Gossage wanted to go after him.
And he did go after him, and Gibson got him. Infante flipped to first. It's exactly what Zambrano needed. He is a quick hitting like that. 2-0 Arizona. Sports Florida is brought to you by Lexus of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. Lexus of Pembroke Pines. And if I didn't like mine so much, I would not have been able to concentrate and read that billboard.
Yeah, you just looked good getting out of your IS 250 today. Just it looked you.
Here's Bonifacio. And he takes outside. The count's 1-0. Marlins trying to get something going here. You got Joe Saunders, who has been really good his first 3 starts, and that has spilled over into his 4th.
It's a crazy game. I mean, you have 2 different attitudes. If you're on the Marlins bench, you go, man, the Diamondbacks have 7 hits, but it's only 2-0. If you're over on Kirk Gibson's bench, you're thinking we could or should have 4 or 5 runs.
Saunders thought he had a strike, and he may have. That pitch up.
That's a high strike that just missed. Just missed.
2-1. Bonifacio pops up. A lot of these, Tommy. A lot of pop-ups. A lot of soft fly balls, especially from the right-handed hitters facing this lefty Saunders. Let's answer trivia. Well, I'm saying if he's wearing 23 as a major league skipper, that was his number in college.
It might have been in football. I don't know. I would say yes too. How about that? Number 30.
He wore 23 for most of his career in the majors. But as a Spartan in baseball, he wore number 30.
The other baseball player who had his uniform number retired, Michigan State, number 36, Robin Roberts.
Crack staff filling in the holes in our Kirk Gibson Michigan State bio. He was an All-American as a wide receiver, and he did play only 1 year of baseball. .3-0 to Donnie Murphy, who was robbed of a hit on a terrific diving stop by Ryan Roberts at third.
Let's just say Kirk Gibson has represented himself, baseball, and Michigan State very well.
3-1 is fouled back. That one of the first foul balls that has actually come up in our direction. That was about 2 booths over.
Didn't quite make the booth, but very close. Seeing that, I have hopes that we might get one someday.
Another pop-up.
Usually, Rich, when a guy's getting a lot of pop-ups, the way Saunders is 2 things. His changeup has fooled hitters. He's gotten some guys out front. That wasn't a changeup, so he gets you thinking that pitch, and then he ties you up with the fastball in on the hands.
No picnic tomorrow night. The Marlins facing one of the real good pitchers in the National League. One of the best last year, Ian Kennedy. And he's only 3-0 this year. Anibal Sanchez for the Fish. Another lefty on Sunday, Wade Miley. The start for the Diamondbacks. Josh Johnson for the Marlins, and on getaway day, a day game on Monday, please note. The 12:40 start. Big Josh Colmenter against Mark Burley.
You know, the starters, they certainly have to be pleased at the way they've pitched. You know, you'd like to get results. You'd like to have offense behind you, but it doesn't always work that way.
Saunders misses away with the fastball. It counts 3-0. Hanley has popped out. By my count, it's 4 pop outs and a fly ball out to center from Logan Morrison. Morrison's, though, was about a 400-foot shot. That's a strike. Though just barely a strike.
Sometimes you get in a situation like this, somebody on the bench will say, hey, a bloop and a blast, and we're right back in this thing.
Saunders has given up just 1 home run this year. Hanley off of Saunders, who picks it up and throws him out. And Saunders limping noticeably on his way to the Diamondbacks dugout. Marlins have just 1 hit to show for tonight. The Diamondbacks on top, but their starter right now in some pain. The Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. Last 7 days, look at the starters ERA, look at the bullpen's ERA. You can count on Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof for results. Carlos Zambrano delivers. Justin Upton takes down low. Subway 5th. The story here tonight is that Zambrano's not been sharp. The Diamondbacks have scattered 7 hits, 2 runs. The Marlins have just 1 hit against Joe Saunders. That one hit hard. Hanley handles it cleanly. Up the line. Nice catch and tag by Gabby Sanchez, who grimaced a little himself as he made that tag. That's always a concern for first baseman, that left hand, left wrist.
Well, it's a reason. Watch Hanley. He takes his time. A couple of taps, couple of steps. And by doing that, he doesn't give Gabby a chance if he makes a poor throw. And so as a third baseman, a little thing you have to learn, get the ball, get it to first base quickly, and Hanley will learn that. And if the throw is offline, it gives the first baseman, in this case Gabby, gives him a chance to come off the bag, get the throw, and make the tag.
Jason Kubel up now. Zambrano had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the first, the second, and the third were anything but nice and tidy like the fourth. That went over the head of Infante and into right field. Kubel came in with a 9-game hit streak, and he's 3 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, he's hitting close to 400 now during this streak. And he's one of those guys, I know over the last few years, we've heard of Jason Kubel. We haven't seen him a lot.
That's right.
And he's one of those guys, all of a sudden you see him and you say, hey, this guy can hit.
Well, Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau and even Michael Kadire steal, or did steal, all the headlines over the last few years, while Kubel was putting up some impressive numbers. Up the middle, Infante backhand, flip, Murphy turn, double play. Nicely done. Miguel Montero rolls into a double play, and Zambrano's got some rhythm right now. That's a 5-pitch inning. We'll see about the health of Joe Saunders when we get back. Diamondbacks. That's Joe Saunders, who's up 2-0, but the last out he got in the bottom of the fourth was a painful one.
Now the Marlins have hit some balls well. Looked like it got him on the backside of the leg. Hard to tell. I guess you'd rather get hit on the calf than on the shin. But either way, it stings. We'll see how he reacts.
Yeah, see if it has any effect. He gets Logan Morrison, Omar Infante, and Giancarlo Stanton in the fifth. And a breaking ball for a strike to Morrison. Morrison may have hit the best ball of the night for the Fish. He hit a ball out to the track in deep left center that was run down by Gerardo Parra. Saunders is out in front of him quickly, 0-2.
Last year, Saunders was real tough on lefties. Lefties hitting at just a 212 clip.
He had a solid year in 09, won 16 games. Strikes out Morrison. He had an all-star season in 2008 when he won 17 games. Those seasons with the Angels, and then he came over to Arizona in July of 2010 in the Dan Herron trade.
One of those deals, both guys still going strong.
Infante reaches out and drives one into center field, a base hit. Just the second hit all night against Saunders.
Well, we talked about a bloop in the blast. A little bit of a bloop there. That one hit off the end of the bat. Here comes the blast master looking for his first.
Marlins Park, Miami's jewel and the permanent home of the Miami Marlins. A place for concerts and international sporting events as well. Marlins Park also available for booking, including weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, trade shows, conventions, birthday parties, events of all sizes. 1-877 Marlins, or go to marlins.com for booking information. Stanton popped out on the first pitch that he saw in his only at bat. That in the second. And a big rip there.
One little thing Eduardo Perez said Stanton is doing, that left hip is just opening a little too soon. He'd like him to stay back a little longer. It's a tough guy to stay back on, though. I think if you see Giancarlo hit a couple of balls on the line into right field, then you can say, all right, he's starting to get locked in.
Fouls that one back. Stanton's current streak of 25 consecutive games without a home run is the longest of his career. If you go back to September 19th of last season, he's now gone 91 at bats without a home run. Pulls that ground ball. Roberts gets the out. Diamondbacks have made some nice plays behind Saunders, including that one.
Yeah, and the only play was just to get one out. There was no chance for a double play. And it was a good job by Aaron Hill, the second baseman, to get out of the way. You know, I think we've talked a lot about Stanton and the few at bats in spring training. As you watch this throw from Roberts really take Hill off the bag, but he stays on it to get the out. He does a good job right there. But we're coming to a point now with over 60 at bats in the season for Giancarlo. All right, spring training is done. You've had your at bats.
Sanchez poked a single into right. Breaks his bat. Roberts cuts in front, underhands it to Aaron Hill. That's a nice play by a good third baseman, Ryan Roberts.
I am pleased to be joined by the internationally famous Jared, the spokesperson for Subway for how many years?
13 years now.
13 years in running. Cheryl Woods is with me. She's the CEO of YMCA Broward County, combining on a terrific initiative. Tomorrow's Healthy Kids Day. Subway is now in the YMCA.
Correct. We're partnering with Subway and opening Subway restaurants in the Y as part of our childhood obesity initiative.
Yeah, and you have Jared here. What better spokesperson?
What better spokesperson than Jared? He came down and wanted to be a part of our ribbon cutting at our Hollywood Y, and just great things are happening, and along with all the other Subway reps.
Also, teaching kids to swim is part of the initiative too, Jared.
Absolutely, yeah. If you buy a Subway cash card that's over $20 towards the end of the month of May through the end of June, a portion of that proceeds is going to go to teach kids to swim, and obviously, what better and more important thing down here in South Florida, especially.
Boy, very important. You always see those tragic stories. I mean, every year, and obviously here around the clock. For you, Jared, to be with the YMCA too is another way to get your message across.
It is, and my goal is to make sure other kids don't go down the same road that I went down. I used to weigh 425 pounds, and
how old were you when you weighed that?
I was 20 years old, just a college kid. But I made poor decisions from 3rd grade on, and if we can be more proactive and get these kids to go to the YMCA, realize the resources they have there, get them to eat better, which is really what Healthy Kid Day is all about tomorrow, nationwide, but especially down here in South Florida and Broward and Miami, Greater Miami. It's going to be awesome, and we're going to hopefully have great turnouts. Make sure you come by the YMCA tomorrow. It's free, lots of activities, late morning, early afternoon. Come see what it's all about. Give us a try, and I think you're going to be hooked.
We last spoke I think it was a couple of years ago at Sun Life Stadium, which is a football stadium. Now you got a retractable home here for the Marlins. What do you think?
I'm impressed. I live in Indianapolis. Obviously, we don't have a Major League Baseball team, but and there's.
Hang on one second, Rich.
Well, not much to say, but Aaron Hill just hit it into the Clevelander, and the Diamondbacks have stretched their lead to 3-0. Hill, his 4th homer, his 3rd hit of the game. And the Diamondbacks continue their assault on Carlos Zambrano.
Well, high fastball, middle of the plate, and Aaron Hill, who has power. You mentioned a few years ago he hit 36. Finds the Clevelander with his 4th home run of the year.
All right, guys, just to wrap it up there, invariably something happens. I swear every time I come on there, something happens. But you were saying Indianapolis had that beautiful new dome, obviously, for the Colts.
We do. We had a great Super Bowl this year, obviously, but this is a fantastic facility. I got a nice tour of it here with the Marlins. They gave me a great tour. I can't wait to come back. It's fantastic.
All right, the truck wants to know, do you prefer toasted or non-toasted when you order your Subway?
Got to go toasted, and my new favorite is the barbecue chicken that just came out, but it's only going to be for a limited time, so I got to enjoy it while I can.
But do it in a healthy way. Right?
In moderation. That's what it's all about. Moderation.
Amazing story. 425 pounds. Good luck tomorrow. Anything people should know about learning to swim and anywhere they can go, all the YMCAs?
Absolutely. Come to any Y in Miami-Dade, Broward County, learn to swim, get involved, be active, be a part of the family, and love to have Jarrett here and appreciate all the good work that Subway's doing with us.
All right, thank you.
Home run.
Cheryl Woods, CEO of YMCA Broward County, internationally famous Jared, spokesperson for Subway. Guys, back to you before anything else happens.
All right, thank you, Craig. Carlos Zambrano, a breaking ball that Lyle Overbay gets a piece of. There have been some hitters that have just eaten, no pun intended, Carlos Zambrano alive. 3 for 3 is Aaron Hill. 3 for 3 is Jason Kubel. Hill with the home run makes it 3-0. Zambrano 2-2 on Lyle Overbay. He smacks one into right field. Were it not for the 2 double plays that Zambrano got on hard ground balls in the 3rd and the 5th, this would be a lot messier than 3-0.
Yeah, the double plays certainly have helped out. He's made some mistakes, and certainly the one to Hill he didn't get away with.
Marlins bullpen in action. Mike Dunn in the Marlins pen. Now Roberts at the knees. Roberts, a guy that had to really persevere climbing up from the minor leagues. His 4th year in the Diamondbacks organization. He spent parts of 8 years in the minor leagues. Got to the big leagues with the Blue Jays for just 17 games. 1 game as a Texas Ranger. And then finally won a job with the Diamondbacks. 25 doubles, 19 homers last year. He had a terrific postseason, even though it was a short postseason for Arizona. Roberts hit 2 homers, including a grand slam. That a broken bat roller. Infante, Murphy's turn. Safe. Marlins will have to settle for just 1.
Pretty good feed by Infante. A good slide by Overbay. Just clipped Murphy enough that he couldn't get quite enough on the throw. The ball wasn't hit sharply. Not quite enough on the throw, and keep in mind Roberts has pretty good speed. But the slide certainly helped.
Fielder's choice. Now you got speed at first. Roberts has a couple of stolen bases. And Saunders is up. And the Diamondbacks lost in the division series to the Milwaukee Brewers. A Nyjer Morgan walk-off winner in Game 5 of that best-of-5 series in Milwaukee.
I think it was Tony Plush who got that walk-off hit. The alter ego. I don't think Tony Plush has surfaced this year for Nyjer.
Oh, and 1 to Saunders. Squares, pulls back, squares again, drops it down. Buck looks at second, fires to first. And Saunders with a sacrifice. Roberts now at second. Bloomquist is coming up. Marlin fans, would you like to spend some time in the Fox Sports Florida broadcast booth? Well, here's your chance. For one night, you have a chance to join us in the booth, get an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour. Log on to foxsportsflorida.com and find out how to enter.
Already talked to a couple of guys who seriously want to participate.
See, we should make that a contest. We should make that an auction item. But it's a contest, so no monetary contribution needed. Bloomquist. There's no set date for the return of Stephen Drew, who had a awful ankle break last year, sliding at a play at home. Just as, if not more severe, than the injury that Buster Posey had. Ryan Webb, Mike Dunn. Marlins will see Buster Posey and the San Francisco Giants.
Boy, Buster Posey off to a good start offensively, and certainly Giants fans are happy about that.
Bloomquist takes down low.
Posey 3rd in the league with a .362 average. How about the 4th batter in the league as far as batting average at .333? Juan Pierre.
Zambrano here in the 6th, his 100th pitch of the game coming up. Bloomquist steps out. Buck is on his way out to the mound. We were talking about the other day, Jose Altuve had surfaced in the top 5, and JP was there as well.
Yeah, Altuve still 2nd in the league, following Matt Kemp.
Talking to Ozzie Guillen about Altuve, he said he saw him in the Venezuelan Winter League this year and said he really liked the way he carried himself and is not surprised that he's having success at the big league level.
Now, what Ozzie would like here, he'd love to have Zambrano get this final out, get out of this inning, because Zambrano's due up 2nd. And he did.
Right back to him. Flip over to first in time. Aaron Hill leads off the 6th with a home run. And now the Diamondbacks lead it 3-0. Is running with the arms, legs.
I loved your comment that he's had 5 Tommy John surgeries, maybe 6.
Yeah, he's recovered nicely. It looks like the Shark needs Tommy John surgery with that right fin.
Snuck in on the inside, just got a high five from the Ibis.
Here is John Buck.
Hey, somebody emailed the other night and wondering, seeing Billy in that picture, if Billy would ever participate in that race.
Roberts. And Buck is out. We will have to ask the fish. Coors Light freeze cam time. That was Ryan Roberts leaving his feet, robbing Donnie Murphy of a hit. That was back in the first inning. Joe Saunders didn't need a lot of help, but Ryan Roberts gave him some. Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Austin Kearns. Roberts again. No freeze cam on that. And the Diamondbacks' third baseman has had a very nice night defensively.
He has shown us he can go to his left, as he did on the freeze cam shot. And in that case, went to his right toward the line and was able to pick that ball hit sharply by Kearns. There he is, sets his feet, ready to go. There's the pick. Then once the third baseman picks, he's got a long throw from that point. Ryan Roberts shows off that arm.
He's got the flat bill going. Not many infielders are flat bill guys.
I think if you have tats, you go flat.
You crack me up. Here's the 0-1 to Bonifacio, and it misses down low. It was just the other night when John Roush came to the ball game that you used the phrase, "Rich, he's all tatted up." One. Saunders is not overpowering, but obviously a great example you don't need to be. Mark Burley has made a great living out of it.
And he's only at 55 pitches, 56 pitches.
Did not go after it. That is James Hoy, the first base umpire. Jim Joyce is out at second. Jim Reynolds is at third. That means a Sunday with Jim Joyce behind the plate.
It's always good to have Jim Joyce on a day game. Keeps everybody on their toes. There's Jim.
Bonifacio pops that one towards the seats and out of play.
Every once in a while, 90 miles an hour, Saunders will just pop that fastball in on the hands of a hitter a little bit. Boy, the offense continues to struggle. Just 6 runs on the 0-5 road trip. Marlins were outscored 15-6. You think about it, 15 runs is all they gave up.
Bonifacio trying to get aboard. Murphy's on deck. Saunders trying to finish the inning. Fastball. Well, why not? He went to his left. He went to his right. That one at him. Ryan Roberts handles all 3 in the 6th to the 7th. 3-0 Arizona. In Miami tonight, 4-game series between Miami and Arizona starts. Marlins Park. And Arizona has come in, shut down the Fish, along with Tommy Hutton, Craig Minervini, Preston Wilson, and Rich Waltz. The Marlins could use Preston Wilson in their lineup right now. Just 2 hits. They've not scored against Joe Saunders. And Carlos Zambrano's night is done. Mike Dunn arrives. And the lefty with an ERA of over 6 would like to cut that down. He'll get Gerardo Parra, Justin Upton, and Jason Kubel. It's a Diamondback team that has dropped 7 of 9. It's a Marlin bunch that has lost 5 in a row, all 5 games on a road trip that ended in the mist with a 9th inning lead going up in smoke yesterday in New York.
Well, I think with the offense going the way it has, I think secretly Preston and Cliff Floyd are starting to swing the bat a little bit.
Here is Gerardo Parra. And Dunn delivers a fastball. If they're doing it down in the batting cages here at Marlins Park, they may think it's secretly, but everyone down below can see from the windows a look inside the Marlins batting cage.
Gerardo Parra 0 for 3 on the night. There aren't a lot of 0-fers in the scorebook for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, folks who are back there in the Diamond Club.
They can see into the batting cages.
That's a great touch. Yeah, they can look in, see who's taking some batting practice.
1-2 pitch is lined foul.
They have that same feature in Washington, D.C. at the Lexus President's Club.
Now that you're a Lexus owner, I know you went in there waving your hand saying, "I'm here." 1-2 is up. Done right now, trying to keep it at 3-0. Joe Saunders has the look of a guy that not only can go 9, but probably can go 10 or 11 at this pace. He's only thrown 60 pitches through 6 innings.
And if needed, the Diamondbacks have a pretty good closer in J.J. Putz.
You can come to Marlins Park with a season ticket, and there's a variety of season ticket and mini plan options. Save money off the box office prices and enjoy all the benefits of being a Marlins season ticket holder. Pick up your plan today, 1-877-MARLINS, or go to marlins.com.
Yeah, you were talking about Jose Altuve last inning. He's 2 for 3 with a triple tonight against the Reds. He's up to 389.
Second in the National League in hitting. And I would expect in Houston they are wearing their Vote Altuve buttons. Around Marlins Park, a lot of the Marlin last names on the Vote buttons. We have Vote Infante buttons in the booth tonight. All-Star balloting is open. You can do it on marlins.com, MLB.com, or at the ballpark, or in the fish tank. Looks like there's more fish on this homestand.
Had a chance to multiply while we were on the road.
Here's the 1-1.
Looking for their all-star ballots.
We see the guys who take care of the fish in the afternoon, cleaning the tanks, feeding the fish. The pumps and the filters are right around the corner, just tucked behind each dugout. I'm really surprised that our producer John Sulzer has not come up with a little robotic underwater submarine cam. Here's a 3-1. Up the middle, off of Dunn and through the vacated spot to shallow right. Justin Upton got hit by a pitch in the first, and although it's not Zambrano who gets hit by this ball, a little bit of payback. Upton's first hit of the game, and here comes Jason Kubel, who has 3 hits.
It appears that Mike Dunn's okay. See, Infante thinks this ball's up the middle. Look at Infante. He goes up here. And then all of a sudden the ball is deflected off the leg of Dunn, and a good job by Gabby Sanchez to hustle into shallow right field, not knowing what Upton's going to do.
Kubel takes ball 1. Our Nissan league leaders. Hitting streaks. Kubel now at 10. Pablo Sandoval at 19. Angel Pagan, who had a big home run the other day. He and Ty Wigginton at 11. Ground ball, that's through into right field. And Jason Kubel has 4 hits all of them singles tonight.
Well, every hit except for the Aaron Hill home run, every hit has been a single.
Pablo Sandoval at 19. Derek Jeter is at 15.
So Sandoval's hit in every game this year.
Let's see if Jeter has a hit tonight. 0 for 3.
Against Justin Verlander.
Now Montero. And Dunn misses away. Montero's RBI single came back in the first. He's bounced into a couple of double plays. 1 out.
The key for Dunn, and especially last year, Ryan Webb getting loose, lefties hit just 198 against him. But the whole key is that for him to be successful against lefties, he has to get ahead. And he's had a little trouble early on doing that.
Is it just me, or does it seem like John Buck has been out on the mound in this ballgame more than anyone?
You can almost see the path that he's wearing on the grass to the mound. They're right in here. And now Mike DeMuro, home plate umpire, follows. Yeah, it's amazing. A catcher talked to John today, and he's working on some things offensively. Yet he has to go out there and settle down the pitchers, call the game, and handle all that aspect.
He's the only guy that has to go to both meetings at the start of a series. At the start of a series, the hitters have a meeting in which, with the hitting coach, they'll go over not only the starting pitcher, but go through each member of the opposing bullpen, including the closer. And then the pitchers have a meeting with the advance reports on all the opposing hitters, which the catchers are involved, obviously, as well. So the first day of a series is a busy one, not only for John Buck, but for Brett Hayes, because Hayes is sort of the vice president of catching.
Did a nice job in the ball game yesterday in New York.
I think he went around. He did. Dunn with a sharp breaking ball, and he gets Montero.
If you're not ahead or don't have 2 strikes on a hitter, he's more likely not to chase that pitch. So the importance to get the 2 strikes, get ahead, then you can go out of the strike zone with that slider, and as he did, pick up the strikeout there. Crowd waiting for some Marlins offense. They want to see Dunn get out of this inning. But this is a crowd just itching for some offense.
So much so that they're amusing themselves with the wave right now, generating their own excitement. Aaron Hill hit the last ball he saw into the Clevelander. No dancers were harmed in the filming of that home run. That made it 3-0, and Hill comes up now with runners at first and second and 2 outs in the 7th. And so Ozzy's going to bring the right-hander in to face Hill.
I got it. Where were you going?
I'm just making sure. I mean, I really love you guys. I love the U. The U's the best.
That's why you pointed at the U. I said, hey.
I didn't know this was for that.
Just so everybody knows, Randy Cho from FSU loves Miami. Loves them.
Yeah.
Go you! Woohoo!
University of Miami weekend starting tonight, a Saturday night tomorrow night, and then a Sunday afternoon game here at Marlins Park. The series concludes on Monday. It's a 4-game series. And the Marlins head west to San Francisco, San Diego, and Houston. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. This was the home run into the Clevelander from Hill. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. And that's probably the reason Ozzie brings in Ryan Webb, plus the fact that Hill has 2 more hits aside from that homer. He's 3 for 3. Jason Kubel is 4 for 4. 12 hits for the Diamondbacks, a 3-0 lead. And the first pitch from Ryan Webb is a knee-high strike.
Yeah, and Ozzie sees the absolute importance to keep this a 3-run game. And so he brings in Ryan Webb, the good sinker slider, to go after a tough right-handed bat.
Upton at second, Kubel's at first. Webb to the plate. Hill is another example of a guy from California who ended up at a school far from home. He grew up in Visalia, California, Central Valley. And he played his college ball at LSU. Kind of like a Ryan Braun or a Pat Burrell who found their way to the University of Miami from California. Burrell from, I want to say, San Jose, and Braun from Southern California. Two and one. 32,000 in the house. Actually, 31,949. And it's been all Diamondbacks tonight. Webb, 96 with some good movement.
Yeah, good live fastball there. That's a different lineup the Diamondbacks have. Certainly produced tonight, though, but without a Stephen Drew, without a Orlando Hudson, without Chris Young. Good job.
Webb strikes out Aaron Hill. But the Marlins need some runs. They're down 3-0. former Marlin infielder, now a minor league manager.
Yeah, Dave Berg managing in Class A Greensboro, the Greensboro Grasshoppers this year. Ran into Bergie at spring training over in minor league camp. He really enjoys working with the young kids. And Bergie played in 582 major league games.
Just the 62nd pitch of the night for Joe Saunders. And Donnie Murphy pulls it foul.
And by the way, Rich, since I had some Diamondbacks fans on the edge of their seats thinking that they had acquired Orlando Hudson, I meant to say Daniel Hudson, their outstanding right-handed pitcher, is on the disabled list.
Who may be a better hitter than Orlando Hudson right now. Here's the 0-2. Ball in the dirt.
Those are the things the youngster, young girl, young guy, whoever wins the contest, will come up in the booth. They'll figure out how we sort through all those mistakes between innings.
They'll have the job of slapping Tommy around. 2-2 coming to Donnie Murphy. And Saunders trying to pick at that corner. And with that true center look that we've got here at Marlins Park, we get a better idea of pitches like that one that was just off. Here's the 3-2. Popped up, out of play. Murphy was robbed of a hit by Ryan Roberts, and he popped his second.
Only one time tonight, and I say this with the count 3-2 on Donnie Murphy, only one time tonight the Marlins had the leadoff batter on base. That was back in the third inning when Gabby Sanchez singled.
Saw Brad Ziegler in the bullpen. Check swing. Did he go? No. That was close. Murphy, his reaction at home plate was one of, trying to sell it. Let's watch this.
It's always tougher on a pitch up in the zone, but on a pitch up in the zone, you can keep it back a little better. That's close. We say this so often. Sometimes that's a strike, sometimes it's not. Murphy will take it.
The Marlins will take it.
So just the second time tonight they've gotten a leadoff man on base.
And the first walk issued by Joe Saunders. Now Hanley Ramirez. 88-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. You talked about Hanley trying to make the adjustment back to a shorter swing. This is a tough guy to make that adjustment against. It's a lot easier to do that against someone throwing 97 instead of 87.
It's also, and it's been something that Hanley's dealt with his whole career, when he has that leg kick. I remember he even got away from that, trying to work on some things. But when you lift that leg high like that, you have to have the perfect timing to get away with that.
One.
Right now, Hanley 0 for his last 22. Believe it or not, his longest hitless streak came back in 06. He was 0 for 29.
Murphy's at first. Saunders with a 3-0 shutout here in the bottom of the 7th.
Just to kind of put that in perspective, though, of course, 06, Hanley's rookie season with the Marlins. He still hit 292 that year. 633 at bats.
He was 0 for 18 on the road trip after absolutely lighting it up on the last homestand. Crack Staff has a split screen of Hanley's stance, home versus road. Obviously home on the right. Look at the hands
Yeah, they're down in more of an attack position on the right at home. When you get them up high, it takes you a little longer to get it back to that position, thus creating a longer swing.
Two coming. Hanley bounced to short, might be two, turned by Hill, double play. And Joe Saunders, as economical as he can be, gets 2 outs with that one pitch. And now he's got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Boy, the last 2 at bats, Hanley's hit the ball on the nose. Remember, he hit that shot off Saunders in the 4th inning. Saunders was able to chase down and get the out. This ball he hits on the nose, but a routine double play, 6-4-3, because it was hit so hard.
Logan Morrison now. So Saunders has faced 1 over the minimum here. He's given up the 2 hits. And he's at 74 pitches.
Well, we told you his previous 3 starts, he's gone 7 innings. In those starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or less, each of those starts. And he's doing it again tonight.
Logan Morrison, a deep fly ball out and a strikeout.
I think Saunders surprised this offseason as a free agent that he wasn't more sought after. And hard to call $6 million a bargain, but in essence, the Diamondbacks got a bargain signing him to a 1-year deal for $6 million.
1-2. Struck him out. Morrison doesn't like the call. Mike DeMuro brings him up. And Joe Saunders keeps on rolling. Summary.
Well, in the first inning, the Diamondbacks, helped out by Montero's base hit, pick up an early run and took a 1-0 lead. They pecked away in the second inning. Little help. Joe Saunders gave himself with a sac fly. 2-0 Diamondbacks after 2 innings. In the 6th inning, Aaron Hill hits his 4th home run of the year. Finds the Clevelander with a shot, a solo shot, 3-0. Diamondbacks have the lead, and the rest of the story has been Joe Saunders on the mound. 7 shutout innings. He's given up just 2 hits. And Ryan Webb trying to keep it 3-0. The crack staff even trying to create a little offense and putting a run up there on the board for the Marlins.
Not going to work. Lyle Overbay is 2 for 2 with a walk. You talked about the absence of Chris Young in this lineup. Stephen Drew is a ways away. And the guy you don't want to have hurt you is Justin Upton. And Upton really hasn't hurt the Marlins tonight, but Aaron Hill is 3 for 4 with a homer. Jason Kubel is 4 for 4, all 4 singles. Overbay in the 7th spot is 2 for 2. Crowd reacting, and Overbay even smiling. He took a peek up at the scoreboard. They had the kiss cam between innings, and at the end of kiss cam they had the senior smooch cam, and they put a elderly couple on. Overbay smacks it into center field for a base hit.
Didn't seem to bother Overbay.
No, but he was amused because they were up there and they didn't realize they were up there, and they didn't kiss. And then someone tapped him on the shoulder, and they finally did during Overbay's at bat. They're smiling and waving. Hey, look.
Well, Overbay is a pro. He's been around a long time.
Knows how to handle
a senior smooch cam.
He's 3 for 3. Ryan Roberts up. Ryan Webb finished the 7th. Stanton back. And he makes the catch. So one out, and here is Joe Saunders. Saunders, remember, in the middle of the game was hit on the back of the leg on a ball hit by Hanley Ramirez in the 4th, and he limped into the dugout, but he came back out for the 5th and looked just as sharp. Didn't seem to bother him a bit. He delivered the first run of the 2nd inning, a sacrifice fly.
Yeah, he's had a good night all around offensively. Only has 14 career hits. Of course, he spent a number of years with the Angels, so no opportunity to hit there. Only occasionally.
Ball and a strike. In the National League tonight, Cubs 3-1 over the Phillies in the 8th.
Over Roy Halladay.
Braves 2-1 over the Pirates in the 6th. Houston 6-2 over the Reds, bottom 6. Cardinals are hammering Milwaukee 7-1. And that's in the bottom of the 3rd. Rockies have scored first against the Mets and lead them 2-1 in the bottom of the 2nd.
Kind of a back and forth game at Yankee Stadium. Detroit now with a 6-4 lead over the Yankees.
Brandon Inge released by the Tigers. Longtime Tiger.
You know, yeah, a longtime Tiger, very popular Tiger, just 2 for 20, and no position, no place for him to play this year.
One-two to center. Bonifacio in full flight there, makes the catch. Overbay got to 2nd, and he returns to 1st. Joe Saunders has handled the bat quite well in this ballgame. Toyota Trend, Miami's 8th home game, tied for 3rd fewest in the National League. We told you on the road trip the Marlins will play the most road games in the major leagues from opening day till May 9th.
Yeah, 21, I believe. Marlins trying to appeal at second base. They weren't sure what Overbay did when he went all the way to second on that long fly ball.
He got to second and turned around. I was watching.
As a good middle infielder will.
Washington and the Dodgers, those are two very good teams right now. 14-5 Washington. The Dodgers are 13-6.
Pretty good matchup. I was looking at some of the matchups tonight.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Of course, the Dodgers will throw the Cy Young winner, Clayton Kershaw, against Ross Detweiler, who looked like a Cy Young pitcher in D.C.
Padres are in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Willie Bloomquist, a single in 4 trips. Got a couple of guys, the Diamondbacks from the state of Washington. Overbay is from Centralia, Washington. And Bloomquist grew up in Port Orchard, Washington. The same neck of the woods that produced Aaron Seeley.
He have the really good curveball.
Oh, yeah. 1-1. Right back to Webb, who spears it. And tonight, Marlins running out of innings, down 3-0. $32,000 in the house. You can follow the Marlins with the MLB.com at-bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit Marlins.com for details. Fish need to get busy. Joe Saunders, you wanted to say that he labors into the 8th, but that's not the way Saunders has operated tonight. He's cruised. 77 pitches worth as he enters the inning. Infante backs up on that fastball, and the count is 1-1. Infante, Giancarlo Stanton, and Gabby Sanchez.
Infante 6 for 13 against Saunders in his career. I don't even know if Saunders has broken a sweat tonight. They had a note in the Diamondback stats that he's pitched really well away from their home. His last 13 road starts, he's gone 8-3 with an ERA in the low 2s.
Well, he's faced just one over the minimum. A couple of double play balls have erased base runners. 2 singles. Infante has 1. Gabby Sanchez has 1. And a walk to Donnie Murphy. And that is it tonight. 2-2.
You could ask a lot of people this question, and they wouldn't come up with the name Joe Saunders. But the last 4 years, since 2008, he's number 4 in wins amongst left-handers. You got CC Sabathia, Cliff Lee, John Lester, and Joe Saunders.
Roller up the middle, backhanded throw by Hill in time. That's a nice play by Aaron Hill.
Today, the Diamondbacks, they've made just 11 errors this year, so pretty solid defensive team. They have made some really nice plays tonight. And it seems like every time the Marlins have hit a ball well, that one skipped off the mound and slowed it up just enough for Hill to get there. If it doesn't hit the mound, it probably scoots through into center field.
Also gave him a nice waist-high hop, and so he didn't have to stretch.
If he has to go down to get that, Infante probably beats it out.
Now Stanton, and I think the question in everyone's mind coming into this series is, when is Stanton going to go off?
Probably in Giancarlo's mind too.
He has 4 doubles. He's popped out and bounced into a fielder's choice. Was out in front of a fastball. Got it off the end of the bat. David Hernandez was very good in the setup role last year, and he's having a nice start to this season. He's ready if needed. 2-2. J.J. Putz, as Tommy reminded everyone, is the closer for the Diamondbacks. He also had a very good year last year. You know, the Diamondbacks, the biggest improvement they made last year was in their bullpen ERA. They knocked a full run off their total ERA and 2 runs off their bullpen ERA. Stanton a smash, Bloomquist. Well, Willie Bloomquist is like a Alfredo Amezaga with a better glove, with a better bat. Because you put him at all 3 infield positions, he's good. He can play center field. You can stick him in the corner outfield. He was wasted in the American League.
Yeah, he's one of those valuable guys on a National League team because he can play so many positions.
Absolutely.
And again, to reiterate, another hard hit ball. Stanton hit that ball well. Saunders, in his career, just 6 complete games and 2 shutouts at the major league level.
Spanish language tonight brought to you by Toyota. Cookie and Raul, if you press the SAP button, magically appear on your set. Gabby's base hit was to right field in the 3rd. He fed one of the many ground balls Ryan Roberts' way at 3rd base back in the 5th.
Joe Saunders now on the year with his 7 2/3 shutout so far has lowered his ERA to 0.94.
He's throwing harder now in the 8th than he was in the first part of the ball game. He was topping out at 87, 88,
and then throws that changeup there.
And he's popped the glove at 90 here in the 8th inning. 93 pitches now for Saunders, and he's 2-2 on Gabby Sanchez. John Buck is on deck. Gabby rolls one to Roberts again. Joe Saunders has been splendid. The Marlin bats have been quiet. It is 3-0 Arizona. 9th. Let's check in with Craig Minervini.
Rich, terrific night here to honor all the workers who built Marlins Park, over 5,000 of them. Earlier, they were on hand here as David Sampson walked in. Jason, Jennifer, you guys were part of this process. What did you do?
The glazed block, all this stuff right here.
The masonry?
All the masonry across there. All that, and the concession stands, and everything.
And what did you work on?
I am the general contractor, so we are the people who are in charge of the whole ballpark. We contract the subcontractors and everything.
Now, you guys can sit down so we don't block anybody's view, but your names now are permanently honored, etched in the promenade. That was kind of a neat thing for all you guys, huh? What happened with your name?
My name, the only thing that was bad about my name was it got spelled with an extra L. So it
happened.
No problem. We're all there.
All right, this is quite an honor, though. How do you feel about being honored like this here?
I feel amazing. There are no words to describe the feeling or the pride to be part of this amazing project.
And then to see it come to life.
Yeah, to come to life. I was here since there was nothing here, and to see something is amazing.
All right, good to talk. Great job. You guys did a wonderful job.
Awesome job here. It's nice. This is an awesome job. I brought my kid down from Deltona.
You got to look that way, they won't see you. All right, good job. Thanks a lot, guys. All right, back to you.
All right, nicely done. It's the 9th. Gerardo Parra slices that one into left center field. And Parra has his first base hit. And the Diamondbacks, a leadoff runner aboard. It's been a night where the Diamondbacks have had one big hit in terms of damage. That was the home run by Aaron Hill. And then 13 singles after the home run.
Yeah, everybody in their lineup with Parra getting that base hit. Everybody except Roberts with at least one hit tonight.
Now Upton, he singled his last time up. Leaning and just getting back is Parra. Ryan Webb took over for Mike Dunn. Carlos Zambrano 6 innings in this one. He was wobbly early. The Diamondbacks got 2 runs in the first 3 innings, but they had a flood of base runners. Webb gets a strike and it's 0-1. Zambrano left after the 6th. That was the inning that Hill homered. So 3 runs on 14 hits for Arizona. And the Marlins, whose struggles were well chronicled on the road trip, without a run on just 2 hits.
Webb doing a good job holding Parra closely. Had 15 steals last year, so he's one of the Diamondbacks who will run.
One coming. There's nobody throwing right now in the Diamondbacks bullpen. Saunders with a 3-0 lead.
He has gotten, Rich, 16 outs on the ground. It seems like all 16 have been hit to third. The Roberts, they haven't, but
Bloomquist has made some nice plays. Hill, runner goes, taken for a strike, and the throw skips into center field as Parra slides by the bag. Bonifacio picks the ball up. Parra will settle for a stolen base.
Now, we mentioned 15 steals last year for Parra. Pretty good jump. That's number 6 on the year for him. Yeah, this is where you would love to have gotten the throw and then kept the tag down there because he couldn't stay on the bag.
He's running to third, and Upton on a breaking ball fouls it off.
And a good break. Runners will tell you they steal third off that pitcher, and Parra had a great jump off Ryan Webb. The break the Marlins got is that Upton fouled that ball off.
So it's 1-2. Upton, who blasted 31 homers last year. One-two coming. Another breaking ball. This is popped shallow right. Infante out there, and he's got it. First out of the ninth.
Good pitch by Webb. Big slow breaking ball, and Upton way out front.
Our Kawasaki performance of the game. How about Jason Kubel, the former Minnesota Twin, trying to make a name for himself in the National League after a nice run in Minnesota, and he's 4 for 4 in this ball game, extending his hit streak to 10 games. And Webb is going to walk Kubel. If anyone knows Jason Kubel in this building, it's Ozzie Guillen, who has managed against him for many, many years.
Yeah, in the same division. You bet.
So Webb will walk Kubel, and Montero will come up.
Yeah, another left-handed hitter on deck in Miguel Montero. Has everyone taken a little closer look at Jesus Montero now that all of that happened in that trade with Michael Pineda?
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to say it's a one-sided trade now that Pineda is hurt. In 3 or 4 years, if Montero can't find a position and he's not the hitter they thought he was, and Pineda reverts back to where he was last year. But you're right, it's a pretty one-sided deal right now. Chad Godin is coming in. 3-0 Arizona in the ninth. Night for the Marlins, who felt that getting back home would be the tonic they would need to get the bats going, because the Marlins had a great homestand last time out. They won 5 of 6, Hanley was hitting homers. Bonifacio and Reyes were on base. Onto the road they went, and the offense went flat. The starting pitching was great.
See, look what you do. You get Dauber all mad. That's just like you're voicing it to the whole world. Okay? At least there, whatever.
See, a veteran move by Greg Dobbs helping out Gabby.
Claro. Tú tienes. Déjate un poco más. Ven. It's a beast. How are you?
I am good.
It's about the highlight of the night for the Marlins, the fact that on University of Miami night, leading into University of Miami weekend, Gabby Sanchez has been mic'd up.
And has one of the 2 hits that the Marlins have. Chad Godin, we talked about the last time out for him was a solid 3 innings against Houston, but that was back on April 15th. Good sinker. Though he gets called in, you don't see it too often. I think Ozzie just extended Ryan Webb enough. He wanted to get a fresh arm in there. You don't see a right-hander come in and pitch to another left-hander.
One misses in.
I know a pitch that Godin worked on a lot in spring training was a changeup to left-handers.
Well, he's 2-1 on the Diamondbacks catcher. Montero an RBI single way back in the first. He's bounced into a couple of double plays. And Godin goes 3-1. Aaron Hill, who homered his last time up, homered in the 6th inning, is on deck.
Yeah, he had a 2-homer game early in the year back on the 7th of April against San Francisco.
Diamondbacks have had so many base runners. He had another at bat in the 7th inning. That one fouled off of John Buck. The Diamondbacks have scored 3 times. They've left 10 men on base. They have 14 hits. Ozzie Guillen coming out. And Montero knows the pain. He's a catcher as well. Buck trying to walk it off.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot an athletic trainer or a manager can do at that point. Just let John Buck engage him in conversation and let him walk it off.
What type of conversation would you engage him in?
Well, you kind of want to take him away from his pain. Maybe a quick little joke.
Yeah. Well, Buck hangs in there. Godin is now 3-2 on Montero. Runners go. Lined left center. That ball's hit well. Morrison won't get it. It's to the gap. It'll score a couple. Hara will score. Kubel right behind him. And Miguel Montero with a big hit. And the Diamondbacks have cracked it open at 5-0.
Those are the kind of hits Montero got a ton of last year. Driving in 86 runs. Hitting .282. Nice catcher. Great swing, and a great swing there to find that big gap in left center. And with the runners on the move, they both scored easily.
Aaron Hill now. Hill with 3 hits. Aaron Hill was an All-Star in 2009. Kevin Towers, the general manager for the Diamondbacks, longtime general manager for the Padres, made a series of moves late last year that helped get the Diamondbacks over the hump and win the National League West for the 5th time in just 14 years. Obviously, that man, an enormous part of it. 55-year-old Kirk Gibson. But acquiring Hill certainly helped. He was traded from the Blue Jays with John McDonald, the slick fielding infielder, for Kelly Johnson. It was on August 11th. Diamondbacks have Hill signed through 2013.
They had a lot of props too to their president and CEO Derek Hall. Very instrumental in the moves that the Diamondbacks have made.
Fastest out of the chute in the West this year have been the Los Angeles Dodgers. Giants entered play at a game over. And San Francisco is the 2nd place team in the West, behind the Dodgers, who are at 13-6. Cubs have finished off the Phillies 5-1. Nationals and Dodgers are about 20 minutes away from starting. Same with the Padres and Giants in San Francisco. Breaking ball and a high pop-up. Hanley calls for it and makes the catch in front of the mound.
Yeah, good job. I think you could hear Hanley calling that all the way up here. He knew there were a lot of people surrounding that pop fly, and he wanted to take charge. Yeah, the tough part about a start like this, you just don't want to get buried too far behind. A loss tonight, the Marlins will be 7 games behind Washington, depending on what they do out in Los Angeles.
Overbay is getting intentionally walked, and obviously on the field it's been a rough night for the Marlins on University of Miami night, and so in honor of that, Tommy, I'll let you know that John Jay is 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs for the St. Louis Cardinals, who are pummeling the Brewers 12-1.
So what you're doing is you're checking your MLB at bat app at how all the former Canes are doing tonight.
See, I don't know that there is an app for that where you can just hone in on one school's major league players.
In that same game, I know Brian Braun is playing, and he's 1 for 2. But you're right about John Jay. Big night for him. A big night for Matt Holliday, too.
That's Jake Westbrook, who is shutting down the Brewers. And Giovanni Gallardo gave up 8 of those runs in 2 innings. There's the man that has shut down the Marlins.
Mets in Colorado tonight. 2-2 tie in the 4th. Chris Schwinden pitching for the Mets.
That's Wayne and Garth's favorite pitcher. Roberts, fly ball right field. And Stanton is over. He's there and he makes the catch. No Joe Saunders. And the Diamondbacks have a 5-0 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. Sports Florida is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Checkers. Feast on. 5-0, 15 hits for Arizona. They've left 12 on. Look at the Marlins line, and you got to marvel at Joe Saunders. And this is his 4th terrific start for Kirk Gibson and the Diamondbacks.
And what a boost, certainly, with Daniel Hudson on the disabled list, certainly helping the starting rotation. Only 2 hits, an Infante single in the 5th inning, and Gabby Sanchez singled in the 3rd.
John Buck, Chris Coughlin is on deck, and then it's top of the order, Emilio Bonifacio. Jose Reyes, Greg Dobbs also available as pinch hitters. Saunders trying to put a complete game in the books, and he misses outside to Buck. If he should falter, the Diamondbacks' pen is ready. And Saunders misses outside. JJ puts. Former Michigan Wolverine.
I'm pretty sure that's the first 3-0 count that Saunders has had.
A strike to Buck.
And I'm getting from another grad, Scott Hopkins, our crack staff statistician. He's had 2 other 3-0 counts.
Buck walks. So a leadoff walk here in the 9th. Coming up, Marlins Live, brought to you by Checkers. Greg Minervini, Preston Wilson, Jeff Conine. Obviously, all the highlights and the analysis of this ball game. Maybe a deeper talk with a couple of very good big league hitters, Preston and Niner, about the offensive struggles, and a preview of tomorrow night. Doesn't get much easier with Ian Kennedy on the mound for the Diamondbacks tomorrow night. Anibal Sanchez for the Fish. Now Coughlin off the bench, pinch hitting against Saunders. Chris takes a rip. 0-2.
Well, it's just one of those things when the offense stalls, it just makes everything seem stagnant. Crowd has had a chance not to get into this game.
Roberts, Hill, another double play.
Every time that Saunders has walked or given up a base hit to a Marlins hitter, he's been able to get a double play. That's the 3rd double play his defense has turned. But it was a lively crowd, almost 32,000. They just haven't had much to cheer about tonight.
Bonifacio now, who is 0 for 3. Saunders looking for his first complete game since midway last year. Bonifacio on 0 for 3 night. And he has a lot of company up and down the Marlins lineup. Omar Infante has a single. Gabby Sanchez has a single, and that is it. The Marlins have left 1 base runner this entire game.
There have been 18 outs recorded on the ground. 9 balls have been hit to Ryan Roberts at 3rd base.
1-2. Saunders is over 100 pitches now, 106 in the books.
And we mentioned 6 complete games in his career. And trying to put this one away as a complete game shutout. Just 2 shutouts in his career. Last shutout he pitched was when he was with the Angels in 2010.
He's a strike away, the 2-2. And it's in. The count full now at 3-2.
His last shutout was May 14th, 2010 against Oakland.
His demeanor has changed a bit from his first pitch. Slow and steady.
He's worked at a good pace, and consequently, because of that, because of all the ground balls, he's gotten some great support defensively.
Has changed speeds well. Hasn't overpowered with the fastball. Precise with the breaking ball. And you're right about the contract. If Saunders has a very good year, just a $6 million contract, his ERA shrinking, and it was 1.29 to start the night. Bonifacio down the right field line, and that's out of play.
Yeah, it's down to 0.91 right now. He's 30 years old, so he could pitch his way into a really nice contract after this year. You know, we're talking about this, it's only April, but he's certainly off to a great start.
10th pitch of the at-bat to Bonifacio. Tomorrow night, it's Ian Kennedy. He's 3-0 for the Diamondbacks. Anibal Sanchez for the Fish. I guess it's only appropriate that Roberts, safe. He bounced it, and Bonifacio beat it. Be an infield hit.
Well, Bonifacio, the former Diamondback, likes to play against his former team. Shows off the speed. Roberts didn't get as much on this throw, and because it was a short hop, Bonifacio beat it out. He just can fly up that line.
Charles Nagy, the pitching coach for the Diamondbacks, a guy that has a spot in Marlins history, as he was on the mound for the Cleveland Indians and had the ball just glance off his glove. Edgar Renteria's drive up the middle. It scored Craig Counsell with the winning run in Game 7.
A real nice pitcher, though. Had a wonderful career, 129 career wins for Charles Nagy. All-Star 3 times.
Murphy now. Two outs, bottom 9. Saunders trying to finish. Marlins trying to stay alive. And of all the innings that Saunders has had, this at 20 pitches is his biggest workload by inning.
He's actually thrown some very good fastballs in this inning.
He's 1-2 on Murphy. And he gets him. Saunders finishes a 3-hit shutout for Joe Saunders, and the Diamondbacks take the first game of this 4-game series. Back to 500 is Arizona at 10-10, and the Marlins tailspin continues. The Fish have lost 6 in a row and are now 7-12 on the season. 32,000 in the house tonight, and the Diamondbacks shut out the Marlins 5-0. Saunders gets through it. Marlins live around the bend, all over here in Miami.